Hi, I'm John. This is my show, A Sports Reckoning. So this is a guy, his page is Reserved Investments. Okay, so I've never seen this guy before. I have no idea who he is, right? Somebody had posted a link, or not a link, just posted a comment on my page saying that this guy had said something about Michael Jackson, right? And it's like, okay, I can't come out here and debunk and fight every single idiot out there that mentions Michael Jackson's name. It's just like there's just way too much of it to deal with and stuff. I get overwhelmed trying to do with that because I've tried. I've tried. I went after everybody, every single thing I've tried. I really have tried and stuff. And it's like as I do it, it just keeps piling on. It's like more and more and more and stuff. It just gets really good. It gets really wild and shit, right? So real quick on this thing. When we're talking about Michael Jackson, okay, we're in different leagues, I'm the master of the Michael Jackson universe and shit, right? And this guy, he's not even in the league. He's nothing and shit. So this guy's completely outmatched, okay? So this guy doesn't know it, but he's totally outmatched. If he comes to me, we're dealing on the Michael Jackson story, I'm like Mike Tyson and he's like a 5-year-old girl, okay? That's what we're dealing with here. Okay, so he's completely outmatched. Okay, so I'm giving him, I'm letting it know it's like, well, he's not me. So, I mean, he's not of the level, he's not qualified. You shouldn't look at him as somebody who's qualified and stuff. And then, so like when we battle and stuff, it's not like this is an equal battle and shit, right? I'm Tyson, he's a 5-year-old girl. He's completely outmatched, right? But it's also, it's not just, the other thing is like, it's not, the reason why I'm so good and stuff, it's not just that I'm so good with the Michael Jackson stuff, is that I'm just a better person, right? I'm just much more cool. I'm much more of a realist. I deal in reality in the real world and shit, right? I'm much more of a real person. Where a dude like this would be like his reserved investments, reserved friendships, reserved relationships, reserved encounters with the population culture and stuff. You never had any of these encounters in the life that I've lived and shit. Your whole life is reserved and shit, right? You're just a loser and shit, right? Okay, so let's play a little bit of this idiot.
Sean, what do you think of Michael Jackson collectibles? Does this market have legs in the future? Well, let's be fair here. To be in all honesty, Michael Jackson is a very controversial individual because I truly believe he is guilty of the allegations that he was accused of. That's all.
Okay, so really quick on that. This is the way it goes when people talk about the Michael Jackson pedophile stuff, right? These are the kind of things. So you got real people in the real world who can understand just the reality of what was going on and the reality of the evidence and stuff. And you can say, look at Michael Jackson's behavior with those children was inappropriate. I agree. I always say that. This is one of the things that the Michael Jackson fans, the fandom, the community, they don't like me because I don't accept that stuff. I don't sit there and say, no, he wasn't doing nothing wrong. It's fine for him to. No, I say, no, he could not. And one of the things I point out is that and nobody ever makes this, and nobody ever talks about this point and shit, right? And I always say, look at an adult male, and I show them the doctors, that there was a test from the doctors. It was called the stamp test. And in order to test if your penis was functioning properly, there was an old test called a stamp test, and they would get a piece of paper with slits in it, and you would wrap that piece of paper around your penis at night, and in the morning, if you woke up and that piece of paper had broken, that told you that your penis during the night got an erection while you're unconscious. You're not aware of it. It's not that you're trying to do it. It just is a natural physiological thing that happens and occurs in men's, and it just happens, right? You're going to get erections during the night. It has nothing to do with sexual thing. It's going to happen, right? And the test for you to prove that your penis is working is they wrap it around your penis at night. So when you're asleep and you have no idea, you're completely unconscious, and then it breaks because you get an erection because every man during the nighttime gets erections. That's just a natural thing that happens, right? So I pointed that out to the Michael Jackson community and showed them, look at, this is the doctor's test. To test if your penis works, they test it at night while you're asleep. That's how the test works, right? And so, like, this is one of the things I showed to the Michael Jackson community. I said, Michael Jackson cannot be sleeping in bed with children that aren't his and shit over and over and over. He does it. Like I said, there could be instances where Michael Jackson has a group of children that's, And if there's like 20, 30 kids, and because they talk about Michael's room being so big, it's like, okay, well, if they were like camping in there, okay, if you had a room with like 20 kids and they're all sleeping in there, and it's like camp, it's like they're making tents and they're sleeping in sleeping bags, that would be just like camping. I wouldn't see the difference. It's like, well, why can't Michael Jackson go camping with children? Of course, if Michael Jackson went out camping and slept in tents and sleeping bags with children, why would anybody think anything bad about that? But just since you put it in a bedroom, okay, it's just because we have a technical definition of the location of where it's occurring, but the actuality of what's occurring is the same event. They're just camping, they're just sleeping in a room, but the bedroom provides more of a security. You're not out in the wilderness, so I don't see any difference to that, right? But Michael Jackson was doing far more stuff. Like I said, I can give excuses for where it can be acceptable for him to have like a camping adventure, sleeping with children. Okay, there's some places like that. But what he was doing was way outlandish and shit, right? And he would sleep in the bed. And they would say he wouldn't sleep in the beds with kids. And I said, no, I've got him on video talking about Macaulay Culkin. When the guy's asking him, did you sleep in the bed with Macaulay Culkin? He's like, well, no. And he's like, well, yeah, we would sleep in the bed. I'd have Kieran Culkin and Macaulay on this side and Kieran on this side. And we'd all pile into the bed together. And it was magical and all this shit. And that's where it starts to get weird and stuff, right? And so what I pointed out to the Michael Jackson community is that Michael Jackson cannot do that because at nighttime, he's an adult man who's getting erections. And he's not trying to fuck the kids. It's not because he's getting erections because he's horny. It just happens. So you cannot have an adult man sleeping with and letting children sleep in the bed with him while he's getting erections. That can't happen. And the Michael Jackson community laughs at me. John says Michael Jackson gets erections at night. Oh, he's crazy. They're weirdos and shit, right? But so I deal with all kinds of stuff. But the reality of this guy, what I found out is that most people that think that Michael Jackson is a pedophile, either they were victimized as a child by sexual predators. And this guy's goofy and stuff, and he looks like somebody that would have been victimized as a child and stuff. So I actually think that that's probably what it is. Because there's two things. Either the majority of the people that think that Michael Jackson is a pedophile were either sexually molested as a child themselves, or they actually have sexual desires towards children themselves. And then they like to think about Michael Jackson being a pedophile because that fulfills their sexual desires and their fantasies and shit, right? So that's usually what you get. So when you look at this guy, what do you think is more likely? Do you think that it's more likely that he was sexually abused as a child, or is it more likely that he's actually a homosexual pedophile predator inside of him and he's got those sexual fantasies himself, and that's why then he sees that on Michael Jackson? So it's one of those two. It's one of those two, because it's not that he's intelligent and he's looking at the evidence and there's something the inner person of what it is that allows him to see those things in Michael Jackson. And like I said, I've been through this the whole time. Like I said, I'm like the master of this stuff. So I can pick these motherfuckers apart and stuff, and I can tell you, this guy, just by him saying that he thinks Michael Jackson guilty, I already know that he was either sexually abused as a child or he actually has pedophile tendencies in him as an adult. Okay, so I'm telling you right off the bat, there's something wrong with this guy as a human being. So this guy, but see how he combs his hair nice, and he tries to look all clean and proper and shit, right? And it's a fake, it's a fraud, it's a scam. They're portraying an image of what they want you to think of them, okay? So instantly when I see people doing that, I already know that they're covering up and they're hiding the true identity. But they can't hide that true identity because the words that come out of their mouth exposes the nature of who they really are. Of what you just saw right here when he labeled Michael Jackson as a pedophile, that he believes that. It's like, well, that's because you're a pedophile or you were victimized by a sexual predator. You've got that in you. That's why you see those tendencies in Michael Jackson. That's your fucking problem.
All I'm going to say, I'm not going to get into a debate on this. Just know that's my feelings. That's my personal feelings.
Yeah, he's not going to get into a debate because that debate leads to him being the truth that we get to find out that he was sexually abused as a child, or he actually has pedophile tendencies in him as an adult, because he looks weird to me, right? He's goofy as fuck. So there's either he was abused as a child or he is an actual pedophile now as an adult. There's something like that in him, right? There's something wrong with this guy. He's wrong. He's goofy. There's something wrong with him. And when you see him putting that image of Michael being a pedophile and he's labeling him that's the way I believe it, yeah, because that's who you are. That's what you know. That's why that's what you think.
That's my standpoint. from listening to interviews from Corey Feldman, other individuals that I respect.
Okay, right there. Corey Feldman is one of the biggest Michael Jackson advocates and defenders that there is out there. Corey Feldman. So like I said, I don't expect this guy to have the knowledge of what I have, right? And it's going to show, his flaws are going to show on a big level. Because when he would drop the name Corey Feldman, you dropped the wrong name. You dropped the wrong name. Now, Corey Feldman, that name, when you drop the name Corey Feldman, that name associates with the pedophile and Hollywood stuff. Yeah, that name, that is the right name when you dropped it. But when you link that name up to Michael Jackson, you dropped the wrong name. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Because Corey Feldman, who's one of the biggest guys saying there's pedophiles in Hollywood and all the stuff, he is the major guy saying Michael Jackson has absolutely never did anything. He has never accused Michael of nothing. Absolutely nothing. And he's the one accusing all the people of the pedophiles. And he's the one telling you, Michael never, nothing. There was nothing with Michael. So when this guy dropped the name Corey Feldman, it's like, dude, you totally dropped the wrong fucking name. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Hollywood. That's where I got that particular idea in my head, that Michael Jackson.
See, that's where he got that idea. No. Where you got the idea is because you were molested as a child or you have those kind of tendencies in you as an adult. That's where you got those ideas from. When they labeled him, you saw him with children, and you being a victim of a sexual predator as a child, when you seen him holding the hands of child, you instantly linked that up to your personal life situation where you were molested as a child, and that's why then you're portraying that image onto Michael Jackson and shit.
Most likely guilty of those allegations. However, on the other end of the spectrum, he was also a brilliant entertainer. He was a brilliant...
I will not accept any motherfucker in the world who is going to condemn Michael Jackson as a pedophile and then ever come back and defend him under any circumstances. Okay, I don't accept that either. You're not allowed to come and say Michael Jackson was a pedophile and then come back and say, oh, but he's a great artist. No. If he is a pedophile, burn all his music. Throw it, get rid of him. I want it all gone. I want all his music gone. I want his videos gone. I want it all gone. If he was actually a pedophile, I want it all fucking gone. And he's a piece of shit loser. He's not great. He's horrible. I don't give a fuck. No talent. Loser. Scumbag. Evil piece of shit. Fuck him. That's the way I am. But you get these idiots out here, and they'll straight say, Michael Jackson's guilty. But what a great artist he was. And boy, these motherfuckers, I don't accept that shit. These fuckers are losers.
Choreographer. Did I say that wrong? You know what I mean. He was brilliant at what he did. Let's put it that way. So what I'm going to state is there are going to always be people that want to collect Michael Jackson memorabilia. But this is what you need to realize. He's not creating any more music.
That's not true because he has so much music that's unreleased. Right? And so once that music is implemented into the society, that would be a form of creation of new material. So you're saying he's not creating new music, but he has a huge catalog of unreleased material that would be new material, right? So when you're saying he's not creating new stuff, and then here's the other thing. My story has changed up the whole thing, right? So my story being that Michael Jackson is actually the abandoned child, the love child of a 14-year-old Diana Ross and her first love, Smokey Robinson, right? That Michael's not a Jackson, and then Michael Jackson told you the true story of his real life in his songs. Primarily, once I use the Billie Jean song, is that Diana Ross is Billie Jean. The song Billie Jean is about Diana Ross telling Michael that she was his real mother when Michael is about 10 or 11 years old and he's living in her house after the Jackson 5 had signed to Motown, moved to LA, and they were living in Diana Ross's house. That's when she told him the truth. There's the one line that says that in the song, is that she came and stood right by me. Then the smell of sweet perfume. This happens much too soon. She called me to her room. That's Michael living in Diana Ross's house when he's 10, 11 years old, and it happens much too soon because she told him the truth. He wasn't prepared to deal with that. That's what the whole song is actually about, right? So when this guy's saying Michael Jackson's not creating new music, no, I've just changed the whole game. Michael Jackson's songs are all new again. Every piece of Michael Jackson's artwork is now new again because now we have the true understanding of what it is and we have the proper interpretation. So all of Michael Jackson's work now is renewed and it's all new again through my work, because of what I've done. I've renewed all his work. So when you're saying Michael Jackson is about to explode and be the biggest entertainer that's ever lived, he's already been that. and they don't even know who he is and understand his stuff. What do you think is going to happen when they actually find out everything that explains who he actually was? That the Peter Pan stuff had nothing to do with pedophile. It had to do with him being an abandoned child. See the difference? It's a big difference between when you're looking at that man and you're looking at him as a pedophile, when the true nature of what it was is that he was an abandoned child. Big fucking difference. Right? And everybody's going to have to reevaluate everything of what they thought and what they saw, and they're going to have to and it's going to renew all of Michael Jackson's stuff. So when you're saying he's not making anything new, no, you're totally wrong. This Michael Jackson thing is a whole different game, and we're about to step into a whole new world where it's going to transcend into stuff that you're not even mentally capable of even thinking about. You're not even capable of even understanding the level of the transition of what's about to occur and shit, right?
So it's going to more likely end up 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, much where Elvis is today. Elvis memorabilia, as I just told you in an earlier question, is pretty much dead.
Okay, but Michael Jackson will never die because his music is different. It's not dated in the way that Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley's music feels like rock Elvis from the 50s and then the 60s. I mean, it feels dated, right? It feels dated. And then the men don't gravitate towards Elvis the way they did when they were back younger. The men back in the days gravitated towards Elvis, right? You had all the women, and the men gravitated towards Elvis. That's what you're not going to get in the modern world, because Elvis won't be that sex symbol and that cool dude, which when you imitate him, the women like that, and so so you're not going to get that. That's what you will never get again, and that's what's going to keep Elvis going down and down and down and stuff. He's not going to be that sex symbol. The men will not. They're not going to go after him. Women are always going to be Elvis fans. There's always going to be women who are going to be loving Elvis and shit. There's no doubt about that and shit, right? Fucking. So, but Michael Jackson, we're in a whole different ball game. His music is totally different. His music is eternal. His videos are eternal. His life story with him being in the Jackson 5, the whole journey, it's a whole different game. But because he's got the negative stereotype on him right now, that's what's damaged him. But once we clear that up and clarify the true, and then we actually have understanding of what the songs actually mean, you're going to see that Michael Jackson's going to be like a Leonardo da Vinci, one of the all-time greatest artists, and acknowledged that way and appreciated and understood as one of the all-time greatest artists that ever existed in human culture and history. That will never die. That will always be collected. There's these people that are the one. This is the one you want to collect. If you want to go for collectibles and understand who it is and what's going to transition throughout all of time, it's going to be Michael Jackson. And this transition is about to happen very soon because of my work and shit. It's about to break, and this is about to happen. This is what I've been telling the people. You need to understand, you need to inquire into what is the quality Michael Jackson collectible market. First, you need to know what is the good stuff. Then after you understand what the good stuff is, you need to start collecting it, because that's the shit that's going to... There's nobody out in the world that's going to be collectible on the level of what Michael Jackson is. Because like NFL football, there's always going to be like people that don't give a fuck about NFL football. But Michael Jackson transcends into every single fucking country, into every race, into every boy and girl, every adult man, everybody. He's a different fucking thing. This is a different beast. And once we clarify and we have the true understanding of who he was, and then we start going and analyzing his songs and we renew everything, he is going to go way bigger than he was already the biggest. And he hasn't even touched the surface yet of what's going to happen. He's going to be big, 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 right? His collectibles are the best thing to invest in right now, is the Michael Jackson collectibles.
That's the direction that Michael Jackson memorabilia is eventually going to go, because people in the future are not going to care too much about Michael Jackson.
See, that's what I'm saying. These guys who are just like these people, these analytical people, right? They're idiots, right? These are idiot people, right? They need some fucking chart to tell them. They need some chart to create their thought processes for them, right? These people don't have proper analytical abilities. They can't fucking decipher what society, like who's actually what taking place in society, like who's the good people, who's the bad people, why are these things occurring. They can't decipher any of those things. They're not real people. These are fake fucking loser people. They're sheltered suburbanites and shit, right? They're total losers.
Does that mean you should sell everything if you're invested in Michael Jackson memorabilia or collectibles? No, you have decades to go in certain instances. But just understand, there's not going to be a catalyst that makes that market pop anytime soon because the guy is dead.
Oh, so you're telling me that a catalyst to make Michael Jackson's market pop, if we found out that he was abandoned as a child, that his real parents were a 14-year-old Diana Ross and an 18-year-old Smokey Robinson, and it happened exactly at the same time that Smokey Robinson was developing Motown Records with Berry Gordy, and it was of the request of Berry Gordy that Smokey Robinson and Diana got rid of that kid because the kid goes to the Jacksons, which is Joe Jackson and Berry Gordy are the same age, and at the same time in their life they were fighting in the Golden Gloves. That's the friendship, and that's the connection of how Michael gets put into the Jacksons' house. It's the connection through Berry Gordy and through Joe Jackson. Their friendship is how Michael ends up in that house. So when we find out that now Michael was an integral part of the creation and the development in the beginning stages of Motown Records itself, Michael Jackson's story is way bigger, and it's bigger than anybody ever imagined it could have been. And so, Michael gets given to the Jacksons, right? They're just an average family. They're not really talented and shit. But Joe Jackson has some musical. He plays guitar. And he's been in the music scene. That's the thing. Joe Jackson was legitimately in the music scene, like in the Chicago blues music scene. Joe Jackson was legitimately in that music scene. And that's one of the things where I say that's how he came across Berry Gordy. After they were fighting, they both got in the music scene and shit, right? And there's like one cool little thing that's like, Joe Jackson had a band called the Falcons in the early 50s. And in his band, the lead singer was a guy named Pookie Hudson. So Pookie Hudson's from Gary, Indiana. He was in Joe Jackson's band. Pookie Hudson leaves Joe's band and starts a band called the Spaniels. And one of their big hit song that people would know of is the Good Night, Sweetheart. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Do, 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 do. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Do, 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 do. I hate to leave you, but I really must say good night, sweetheart. Good night. Do, 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 do. Okay, so that's the Spaniels. That's Pookie Hudson. That's the singer of that song, the Spaniels. That band is is credited as being one of the original creators of the doo-wop music style. And that's before Motown and Berry Gordy, that's the primary music style of what Berry Gordy's about to start with in his Motown is like this doo-wop style. So one of the guys that's accredited of being the creators of the doo-wop style is from Gary, Indiana, and was actually in Joe Jackson's band. It's really funny when you get into this stuff and you understand how big this shit actually is. The Michael Jackson story, what was going on with these people and shit, and how it actually developed and shit, right? And so Joe Jackson, because here's like the true story, because people think that Joe Jackson was always training his children to be musicians, and that's not how it happened. And you know that because the oldest son, Jackie Jackson, doesn't play any fucking instruments. He doesn't play any instruments. So Joe never was training his children. That's not how it happened. Tito was like probably messing around locally just with friends on his own. It wasn't that Joe was training him. It didn't happen the way that they're saying, that Tito was secretly playing the guitar. That story's a fucking lie. Because the real story of what happened is that when Michael Jackson came into the house of the Jacksons, when Michael Jackson's born, Joe Jackson stops working at the steel mill and he reforms his band, the Falcons, right at that time. Because he had just gotten a kid from Berry Gordy, as Berry Gordy's building a record company. So Joe Jackson's like, okay, now I got this connection with Berry Gordy, I'm in. Let me give it one more shot to try and make it myself, because he's trying to make it, right? That's how it worked. He was not trying to build his kids. Joe was the one. He's trust himself. He doesn't trust his kids and shit, right? It's a lot of work to make your kids artists, and Joe's working at the steel mill all day, and he's got all these kids. He doesn't have time to do that shit. But then he gets the kid Michael, so what does Joe do? He stops working at the steel mill. and he reforms his band, right? But Joe's band, being blues and stuff, he was older. That was not what Berry Gordy was making, the music. And that's not what, and Berry Gordy's like, I'm not just going to give you a record deal, No, you have to earn it. I'm not just giving out record deals. So Joe tried to get the deal, didn't get it. So then Joe comes back, and I think what happened is that Barry told him that stuff, and he's like, we're looking for a younger, fresh kind of thing. And I think that's what gave Joe the idea. He goes back home, and he's like, oh, you want younger, fresh sound? Okay, I got a house full of kids. And that's when Joe starts to train his kids. And so Joe starts to train Tito to play the guitar. That's how it happens. Tito doesn't break the note. Then Joe's like, okay, let me start training you. Because still at that time, Joe does not know that Michael has all this talent. He's just a baby. He doesn't know that Michael's gifted. He still has not seen that. Joe tried to make it. It didn't work. Now Joe's like, okay, well, let me start training my kids and shit, right? So he starts to train the kids. And then by the time Michael comes in 5 years old and shows the talent, as soon as Michael shows the talent, Joe knows instantly we're going on the road. He knows instantly what they're doing because that's the kid that was given to him from Motown. And that's the connection. It's the only chance for them to get out of Gary. He knows all that stuff. So it's like, drop everything. This is what we're doing. And it was all because of the kid. And Joe Jackson never would have trusted that kind of talent from like a 5-year-old kid. He never would have trusted it and seen the vision if he didn't have that connection to Berry Gordy and that kid was given to him. He never would have seen that vision. Never would have had it. And he never would have had it because, like I said, you look at Jackie Jackson, the oldest son, he doesn't play any instruments. Joe was not training his children. It didn't work that way, right? So when this guy's saying there's nothing new, and so like I said, so then like the whole actual real life story, Michael lived as a Jackson, thought he was a Jackson, and then he gets to Motown, he thinks he's made this achievement with his family, he thinks he's a Jackson, he's lived there his whole life, why would he not think he's a Jackson? Then he gets to Motown, and what happens there? There's Diana waiting for him and shit, right? But Barry doesn't know like that it's Diana. He doesn't know, or Joe Jackson. He doesn't know exactly like Diana Ross is the mother. He doesn't know. He got it from a young girl. He doesn't know that girl turned into Diana Ross. He doesn't know exactly what's going on either. So as soon as Joe takes him back to Motown, Joe doesn't know that he took him right back to his real parents, and Diana's waiting for him there, and she's going to build this relationship with Michael outside of the relationship of the Jacksons, and that's what happened. But Joe didn't know what he was doing and shit. He didn't understand that that's what was going to happen when he went back to Motown, that he was going to run into Diana and shit, right? And she built that whole relationship. So then Michael was told the truth, and so right at that time, as Michael gets to Motown, he's now told by Diana that he's not a Jackson, that he was abandoned as a child, thrown out like trash. What's the odds that Michael would have ended up in the Jackson 5 after he was abandoned as a child? What's the odds that would have happened? Very, very little. So Michael was very aware of that the chances that he was going to end up back in Motown and be what he was very, very slim. The most likely what would have happened is he just would have been some abandoned child and would have been gone, and then was Diana ever going to come back and get him? So then Michael had to live with this whole new dynamic of this real world situation, and then he's got to live with that while he's becoming a giant star, and he's got the media in his face, and he's having to deal with all that stuff, right? And he's got all the fans saying, we love you, and all this stuff, and all that time Michael's trying to deal with the reality that he's an abandoned child, and he's not with Jackson, and now he's got Diana wanting to cling on to him and all this, so he's having to deal with all that shit. That's the personality trait that develops into Michael the Peter Pan. Has nothing to do with being a pedophile. It's because of the reality of who he is. So now, like me talking to you, Mr. Reserved Investments, if you, with your thought process of who you see Michael Jackson as right now, okay, now you look at my explanation of who Michael Jackson actually is. And are you going to tell me now that Michael Jackson is not investable? That there is a catalyst that's about to come on that's going to create a spark in the Michael Jackson that's going to generate this Michael Jackson frenzy into the collectible market like we've never ever seen before. Michael Jackson is the single most investable quality investable person that there is out there. He is the single best one that there's nobody that's a better investment than Michael Jackson. And this guy just told you he's not a good investment. Nothing new coming. Motherfucker must be a pedophile. And it's like, and this guy's supposed to be some kind of like expert. That's what I keep telling you. These are your experts? These are your experts, huh? These are the people that you people respect. Just because he cuts his hair short and shaves and has a clean little haircut, and for some reason you think that makes this guy a smart, intelligent person? Come on, your whole world is full of shit. It's all full of lies, all full of stupid, idiot, moron losers like this that don't understand anything of the world because they were victimized he was preyed upon as a child, probably pedophiled on. He was probably sexually molested as a child. And so he's all fucked up in the head. And so his only thing in the world is to try and create an image that that he's a good person, because in the reality of who the person is on the inside is he's all fucked up. He's a molested child and shit. He's all fucked up on the inside. So that's why he's got to portray this image that he's all clean cut. Everything's good with me. Everything's good in my world and shit, right? When the reality on the inside, it's all fucked up. He's stupid. He's damaged. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing and shit, right? So I just let me make a video about this idiot and shit. I'll get that out there for you, all right? Talk to you guys later. Bye.